Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. We've got a little bigger dais than we normally do today, and I see some new faces in the audience, so that's awesome. This is our monthly town hall. We've got a few new faces up here, so we'll shortly introduce them. But just a little bit of housekeeping for those who haven't been here before. This is being live streamed. So as you do have questions, and we do encourage you to have lots of questions, I'd like to bring you the microphone before you ask that question so we can capture it for our online audience. We may actually even get some questions from them, which we'll interject into the meeting here a little bit later. But really, this is your meeting, and the best meetings come when it's very interactive. And so hopefully you brought your questions. I see something that's on everybody's mind up here is a couple little bits of road construction that might be going on around town. So we're going to talk through those. But today's guests, we have Matthew Kreisenbeck. Get it? All right. From ITD. He's a community outreach coordinator there. He also brought his backup, Katie, with him today. She's sitting up here in the front row. So if we need to go to the bullpen, we will for Katie. And then we have, everybody I think knows, Chief Hessing. And then he has with him today Lieutenant Haynes. And so we'll give them a chance to introduce themselves real quick. But I think maybe Chief, we'll start with you. Kind of go through a real quick police update, and then I think the bulk of the time is going to be ITD related.
All right. Well, good afternoon. I sure appreciate you guys all coming out. These town hall meetings have been great to community engagement, see what concerns are, and give us a chance to see what you guys are seeing. So I thank you for coming this afternoon. So yeah, like Ryan Field said, I'm Chief Zach Hessing, Star Police Department. I do have Lieutenant Tim Haynes here with me. Reason why he's here, he's gonna kind of show him the ropes of Star, that at some point I will move from City of Star to work back over to the Ada County Sheriff's Office. And Tim Haynes will be the new chief out here in Star. So as everybody knows, we are a contract city for Ada County Sheriff's Office. So what that means is that the City of Star pays the sheriff to provide police services to his city. We do have 23.25 commissioned deputies here in Star that just service the City of Star. They are Ada County employees, so what's nice about that is they do the hire process. I get to kind of see them, watch which ones would be a good fit for City of Star, and kind of handpick the ones out here that do a good job. So it also adds the benefit that if something big happens, we have the full power of the Ada County Sheriff's Office that can come help us give resources and different things. So it's a great contract. That's something I've been very supportive since day one coming here. So just to kind of give you an update of what that 23.25 looks like. So we do have 10 patrol deputies. So 5 for each side of the week. We break them up in different sides of the week. We have a sergeant for each side of the week, so 2 patrol sergeants. We do have 3, we call them the POP team for Star, which is a problem-oriented police team. One of them is actually in the back there. That's Sam Goldstein. He has the most famous deputy, which is K9 Luna, that I'm guessing is out in his car. But he's part of that problem-oriented police team. The good thing about that team is they are just a purely proactive police team. So they're the ones out there making the traffic stops, trying to help out a little bit with, I'm sure we'll talk about today, traffic issues we're having in the City of Star with all the construction. Also, I know one of the big topics has been exhaust brakes that we're hearing come through town. So we're trying to minimize that issue. So that's that POP team. And then we do have a total of 3 detectives. So we have 2 person crime detectives and 1 property crime. And then we have, we will, starting October 1, a school resource officer that we'll start hiring for Star Elementary. One of the biggest things for Star Elementary is they've never had a school resource officer. Alan Takeuchi, which is our detective that works Star Middle School, he services that, and that's paid by Ada County Sheriff's Office and West Ada School District. Where this new one coming into the City of Star Elementary is paid completely by the City of Star, and that's something that we talked with the mayor about and the City Council. I was a big proponent of making sure we had that position filled because those kids deserve to have somebody there at the school to help protect them. So that will be coming on board here soon. That's part of that 23.25 deputies we have. It might sound kind of weird. The 0.25, just to explain that too, Alan Takeuchi, who's the Star Middle School I just talked about, SRO, because that's paid by West Ada and Ada County Sheriff's Office, usually during the summer, they go and work a patrol team on unincorporated. But the city of Star came up with funds to pay for that 2.5 months approximately for that person to stay here in the city of Star and work juvenile crimes. Because Alan does a phenomenal job remembering school student names. When he was out at Freedom Park, which I don't know if there's any Heron River people here, and I see a few back here. Freedom Park can be busy and it can cause a lot of different things that come up. Well, Alan does a great job of knowing who the kids are and handling some of those issues. He also handles the other juvenile crimes that happen throughout the city of Star during the summer. So that's what that 0.25 is. So it's not just a quarter of a person that we have, but a 0.25 position. So I think that's about total for Star Police. Is there any questions or concerns you have for Star Police? Nope. I'll let Lieutenant Haynes kind of introduce himself a little bit, and that way he has a little moment at the microphone.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Haynes. I'm a lieutenant a new lieutenant, about 24 hours worth of lieutenanting now with the Ada County Sheriff's Office. Diehard believer in the contract concept of policing. My entire career in law enforcement, I have sought out contracts to work in. The thing I think that I like the best about contracts is acting as a mediator between the contract holder, which in this case is the city of Star, and then our governing law enforcement agency, ACSO. Like the chief deputy said, it gives us access to a huge amount of resources at very, very short notice, and it saves the people of Star a ton of money because now they're not out buying all the equipment that we're expected to have. The, say like drones, vehicles, we have the ability to reach out to our partners and get help really, really quickly. We can reach out to Eagle. We can reach out to the county. We can get deputies from South County up here in a moment's notice. That's not something you can do with an agency that if we had 23.25 officers devoted only to the city of Star and Star controlled completely and owned that police department, we're kind of on an island. And we will pay a price for it when we need a lot of officers, but also where it costs us is in the ability to serve directly citizens that we're dealing with, because we're going to be so tied up on normal everyday crime prevention things that we can't come to something like this, or we can't go and meet with people, local store owners and stuff like that, and build the personal relationships that I think are necessary for good policing. Been with the Ada County Sheriff's Office since 2018. Before that, I was from, I'll let you guess the state. I moved up here after policing down there for a while, so I brought those lessons up here with me. It's been an incredible experience for me. I would work nowhere else but the ACSO.
KIDO Radio came out with a really strange story yesterday about the gang activity in the county and said that Eagle and Star are controlled by the Sinaloa, mispronouncing it, gang. They had diagrams drawn of different boundary areas, Nampa, Caldwell, Boise, and Eagle and Star, supposedly that gang is fully in control. Can you comment on whether there's any gang activity in the area?
The only thing I can comment, so I haven't heard about the KIDO news talk on that one. There has been a couple people ask me about cartel and different areas there. So I did reach out to one of our narcotic undercover detectives that we have at Ada County Sheriff's Office. We have a very strong relationship with them. I did this about 2 weeks ago. I did talk to them, and we don't have the gang problem that some people are saying that we have. They're very well aware that some areas outside of Ada County are seeing a little uptick. We do every once in a while, pull somebody over here that says they're affiliate to a gang, but we haven't seen anything along the lines of what was talked about there. It does KIDO. I'll have to look into that and see, but I haven't heard anything about about a new gang underneath that name that's controlling us. So, yep.
All right. Well, thanks, Chief Hessing and Lieutenant Haynes. It's going to take some time to get used to Deputy Chief Hessing, but we're extremely excited for you and the opportunities. And Lieutenant Haynes, we're excited to have you join our STAR family. We've been truly blessed with some great leadership here in STAR, and we look forward to having that relationship with you. And I'm sure you'll see as you continue to police throughout the community that we love our law enforcement and our first responders here. So welcome to STAR. You bet. All right. Okay. We're going to probably jump into why everybody's here then. So we do have a little bit of construction going on around town. If you've driven anywhere lately, you've been involved in that a little bit. And so ITD, the Idaho Transportation Department, has graciously come out today. They're here to answer as many questions as they can and to provide any of the details that they can and updates on the construction that is taking place and that will continue to take place here throughout the area. We've got the best of the best with us today. And so I guess, Matthew, I'm just going to kind of turn it over to you and let you begin. At any time in the presentation, if you have questions, raise your hand. I'll run over with the microphone and we'll make sure we get your question answered.
All right. I appreciate being here and appreciate everybody that's here in the room and online. I'm Matt Kreisenbeck, the Community Outreach Coordinator for Idaho Transportation Department in District 3. Just want to do some quick facts and maybe a little background. District 3 comprises the 10 Southwest Idaho counties. And then we have the most amount of lane miles in the state, and also the largest population. So nearly 1 million people reside in our district. There's about close to 2 million in the state. So half the population is a feat to manage transportation with that many, residents and visitors. So definitely a big job. I will try to answer any question. Some I may not have the answer to, but we will definitely document those and get a report back out to the city with answers, and hopefully they can distribute if you signed in today or signed up for their email list. So State Highway 16 is, as you all know, has noticed, is under construction all the way from I-84 to really State Highway 44 here in Star and Eagle. And it's a very important corridor. It's going to be, the biggest thing about this is State Highway 16 was a plan, over 20 years in the making. And we're finally at construction and building it. So really monumental that we're here, and monumental that we are, approaching the completion of construction in 2027. So while there are always impacts with construction, we try to mitigate those as best as possible. I like to think, though, if we weren't doing construction, we'd probably be receiving complaints just due to congestion and safety problems. And now that we're doing construction, we're hearing some complaints, which is good. It provides good feedback for us, and we can try and look for opportunities to always improve. So recently, we've started construction on the State Highway 16, Highway 44 interchange. It was a little rough there at the beginning while we were getting traffic control set up and, making adjustments with striping and deploying barrels. But I think now I sat down there for a little bit today and observed it. Didn't seem too bad. But we are looking at always for opportunities to get people through a construction zone as quickly and safely as possible. The unfortunate reality is it's construction and it's impactful, and we all unfortunately have to drive through it. But this is going to be a great project. You're going to be able to get to the interstate once it's complete, and in really a matter of minutes. It's going to be 2 lanes both directions, separated median. So some center protection there for everybody. It'll be served by interchanges. The good thing is it's not going to become Eagle Road. Thank you for saying that. And I appreciate the comment from my high school biology teacher. Thank you. So, yeah, we're going to have, you know, controlled access. Access will be at interchanges, and you're going to be able to scoot to the interstate and back here pretty quick. Some upcoming construction. We've got some construction plan from essentially State Highway 44 to Beacon Light. That's our first phase, really, of our efforts to get to Emmett and widen the highway and make improvements to Emmett. That I think right now is programmed for 2028, I believe. And so we will be 4 lanes down to Beacon Light when that project is complete. I came here to listen and answer questions, so I'm going to give everybody that opportunity. So what specifically would you like to learn about?
Up by Floating Feather and 16. What's going on there? By the golf course?
So right now there is a project to do a little bit of widening. That is a developer-led project by Valnova. So they are funding it and constructing it, and then our involvement is just making sure it meets our standards and specifications and inspecting it.
I think it's Beacon Light, not Floating Feather. The other question I have, are your little loop-de-loops on your picture?
Yep. So those loop-de-loops are a partial cloverleaf interchange. So what it does, especially at 16 and 44, it will, you know, reduce the traffic backup, the queue that would occur if we just had a standard left-hand turn lane onto the highway.
I guess I'm talking about that little circle you have inside the 4-way.
This one?
Yeah. And there, yeah, those, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the partial cloverleaf. It's an on-ramp to the highway, like 10th Avenue in Caldwell, if you remember that one. So you'll, instead of a left-hand traffic coming westbound on Highway 44 won't turn left to enter to go south on Highway 16. What they'll do is they'll stay to the right and take that ramp, that loop ramp onto the highway. So it really reduces, you know, queuing back here on the highway to get southbound on the highway.
And yeah, my question is also about that same area. And I've spoke with Kate about this and with Kurt, maybe you can give us a better answer. You're considering increasing the speed limit from Deep Canyon. It currently is 55 going through all that residential down to 45, and it's being considered to raise to 65. And the noise and the danger of that is concerning to us because that's right where we live. Do you have a answer for that?
I don't know what the speed limit's going to be right now. Speed limits are typically set during the design phase of a project. So I don't have I can't tell you what the speed limit
Is it not design phase now?
That section, no.
Okay. My other thing is what Mr. Hessing brought up is about the Jake brake noise. There are signs up there now, but there was some issues with getting the signs a little bit closer to where the Jake brakes actually bother the residential people. Can you help with that at all?
So compression brakes can be noisy.
They can.
I believe Ada County has an ordinance prohibiting compression brakes. In the transportation department, compression brakes are a vital safety component of a piece of equipment in a truck. So we can't put up signs that prohibit somebody from using a safety feature.
Even if it's prohibited, you can't put up signs?
We can't. It is a topic that still comes through our office. And we still have discussion, but as of right now, we don't sign.
Well, Mr. Hessing was able to help us somewhat, but I was hoping maybe ITD could step in too.
So, yeah, we're open to discussion with law enforcement and the city. So I can definitely commit to that.
So I have a couple questions. The area on Beacon Light where you said it's a contractor developer,
Yes.
when is that expected to be done? Do you know?
I believe November.
Okay, so I saw the barricade, on the right-hand side has already been taken down. So will people be able to turn right again off of Beacon Light onto 16? Okay, that'll help a lot, I think, with a lot of the backup that's happening there right now. It's hard to find a way out. Like if you live on Canada or any of those areas in Star, it's hard to figure out, which way to navigate. We got a lot of people going on Beacon Light, a lot of people going on Floating Feather. There's a huge amount of dirt right by the Merc. Is that part of you guys?
I have been trying to find that out, and I'm not certain.
Okay. But it looked like they were trying to do kind of an overpass or a bridge or something.
So as part of the widening project, there will be an overpass for Floating Feather, but we have not begun work on that project yet. It's scheduled for 2028.
So there's a housing development on the other side. Is it going to be like a bridge over to that? What is the bridge going to be going 16 or
Floating Feather will have the,
under? Got it.
wait a minute.
Over, but people can still go under.
Floating Feather will go over.
Floating Feather will go over. Okay. And when is the timeline? What's the timeline on that? Basically, do we think?
So construction on that will begin in 2028.
Okay, so you keep saying 2027. Is that for this project right here?
Yes, the State Highway 16 will be, open and complete in 2027.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
So just to address that big mound of dirt, you're talking at Broken Arrow, the old Floating Feather. So when the developments were built along what is now Floating Feather that connects to Highway 16, old Floating Feather, which is now called Broken Arrow, was required to be cul-de-saced. That's what's being built right now. So all of that dirt and mound and everything is being done by the developer to cul-de-sac that intersection. So that work is completely separate from anything that's going on with the Highway 16 construction. Yeah, it's a good question.
That brought up something else. I know you're probably well aware of this, but heading north when you're making a turn off of the 16 onto Floating Feather, that little turn lane, there's also a turn lane coming into the development. I guess this would be more for you guys. There's a lot of people, and it's everybody. It's contractors, it's people with trailers, it's drivers. They are going the wrong way to get on the 16 heading south. So they're not, when they come out, it's mostly the housing development. When they come out of the housing development, they only have one way to go, and that's north. But there are at many different times where they go the wrong way on their road to head south. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's as you're coming north to make a turn onto Floating Feather, that's pretty scary to see that coming head on. But I just wanted to make you guys, I think I'm a problem solver, so my mind, this is not my expertise, but my mind always starts thinking, how can we, solve that? What happens is there's a lot of little, I don't know what you call them, dirt roads, for lack of a better word, that go behind some of those homes that people can pull off and hit those. No, there's been some rocks placed along the way, which I think has helped, big boulders, but there still are little gaps where people can come down the dirt road and shoot out that way, just to let you know. trying to avoid an issue.
You're talking about the subdivision on the east side of 16, they're coming where they have the markers there where you can only turn, they're coming past those markers and going the wrong. Okay. All right, we'll keep an eye. We'll make sure our patrol team knows.
I can probably answer that question for you. I'm Erin with ACHD. You can go ahead and we have a connect feature. Put that information in our website and we'll have a traffic analyst come out and look at that for you and put pictures in there, time of day, whatever. That would be more our lane. But Matt and I work closely together with communications. But yeah, absolutely. We're here to help.
Thank you. This is really exciting to hear the progress that's going on. My question might be more for Erin. The peripheral roads are Ada County Highway District roads, specifically Star Road. And so is there any update on what we hear is happening with Star Road?
I believe we're in the design phase for that. The mayor has been working with ACHD and we're pushing that up. I don't know the exact date for construction, but I don't have the 5-year plan in front of me, but it is something that is on the table right now for design plan. I don't know the date. We have a 5-year work plan on our website. I can give you my card and I can email the information to you and get your information so you can look at all the projects that are going to be happening in Ada County for the next 5 years.
And I'll just add to that, the mayor has been very proactive in that for the last 2 months. I think every city council meeting we've opened with an update on Star Road. That update is currently posted on our website, along with all of the roads and the dates and the timelines for improvements here within the city of Star. I believe Star Road, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, 30, I believe, is the construction phase. It's in design phase right now, and I think they're looking at 2030, but all that information's online on our website, and you can go check that out. Yeah, good question. All right, let me come back here, and then I'll get you right there.
Who controls the cycling of the light at Moyle now? Is it ACHD or?
So traffic signals on state highways are ATDs. We have an agreement with Ada County Highway District to operate those signals. So right now we are in discussions with ACHD to investigate and, review timing on that signal.
Yeah, that's a real problem because it's not allowing north and southbound traffic on Plummer to get out anymore because it flips with one car and backs everything up to where no one can turn left or right to get into the flow of traffic.
Okay.
So it
Yep.
really needs to be adjusted and let those people sit there a lot longer because we can't get out of Heron River and nobody coming south on Plummer can make a turn.
Yeah.
So-
I think they're in the process of trying to find a happy medium.
Yeah. When it signals, it's too long too, because one car goes through and it's still red for who knows how long. So it's
Gotcha.
a real bottleneck all of a sudden.
Thank you.
Hi, I just wondered if you could clarify. I get a little confused about ACHD and ITD and how they work together and where one starts and where the other begins. Just a little clarification, please.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks for that question. Sometimes we kind of gloss over that and don't do as much education as we should. So Idaho Transportation Department is responsible for highways and then interstate. So I-84 in our district, and then State Highway 44, State Highway 16, US 2026. So basically our highways are usually numbered. Obviously they'll have a local name like Chinden or State Street. But that's a bad definition. Anything that has, a highway designation or a US designation. And then Ada County has all roads leading to the highway. So in Ada County. Yep, yeah, we are, our operations teams and traffic engineers, they coordinate and to the best of our ability, so.
Just want to back up to that last question about Star Road. So Dana pulled up the information here. 2026, design begins for Star Road widening from Highway 44 to Highway 2026, including bridge replacements. 2029, widening of Star Road from Boise River at Main Street to Highway 44 with sidewalks. So that's just the section from the river north to Highway 44. So those are the updates in the mayor's. 2026 design begins for the entire road from Highway 44 to 2026 or Chinden. And then in 2029, they'll start the widening from the river at Main Street north to Highway 44. That is our understanding. Yep.
Looks like you're getting your steps in today. First, I really appreciate the fact you guys are communicating and listening. And, we all have our perspectives and things to add. And I know that it's a complex situation. And in fact, the topic that I'm going to talk about right now is one that I discussed with one of the folks at ITD this morning. So I understand, when we have concurrent projects, we understand that it is ACHD, Canyon 4, ITD, even local municipalities and their roads, where we have projects that overlap. And we have a lot of them. Over the last at least 2 years and probably 3, we've had significant choke points or restrictions to the normal flow of traffic, both southbound and eastbound. And for this part of our community, a lot of people are going both those directions. And when you have choke points, whatever it may be, whether it be construction, typically it is, but like for example, this morning I had an 8:30 obligation in Meridian, and Star Road was backed up almost to the entryway into Maverick from Chinden. Then trying to go this direction, of course, it was at least 20 minutes to get to the light on Highway 16. So not complaining about that. We understand things have to go on. And there are areas and times when it has to be concurrent, particularly when Highway 16 was under construction. There wasn't one single southbound trip across the river between the highway, 84 all the way through to even Eagle. You couldn't get southbound. So not belaboring that, but the real issue here, the real concern is the coordination between ATD, CH4, and ACHD, ITD, and Canyon 4 as it relates to concurrent projects. And it was explained to me this morning, we don't always have a choice. We have the funding, we have the need, we have all those things that come into play, manpower, all those things. But the problem really, to me, stems from there's no alternative. The people that are transiting that are restricted now, particularly during rush hour traffic, have nowhere to go. I even tried up to Beacon Light, and that was, a good 35 minutes just to get, from Beacon Light through the road on Highway 16, only be met down there. So it's a compounding issue. Could be all brought about by construction, but all of the arterials then become equally, then add into that school traffic and the buses and all that. So the idea is think about an alternative. When we do concurrent projects, what is the alternative for the people that are trying to commute, particularly during those hours? It's not always the same, it's just during those hours. But I think part of the planning process must involve either, and I wrote it down because my mind, either an alternate or a detour route that can handle at least a good volume of the traffic that's being affected by the restrictions and the choke points. And that doesn't happen. And it's left to the commuters to figure out alternatives or leave an hour early like I did this morning and still was late. So, that's not a good way, in my opinion, to manage it. But again, I understand I mean, I ran an airline for a living, and so I know the complexities of how things can be. But it is that I don't think it's impossible to try to coordinate these projects. So if they are concurrent, to at least have an alternative or do what you can to make them not concurrent. I think I heard you say that you're going to be opening 44 from Star into Highway 16 to 4 lanes again. Did I hear that correctly?
From Star in Highway 16, yes, that project will come, more construction on the way.
Well, anyway, of course, that introduced the bogey. I mean, Star Road, I don't know. I think it's still the construction on Highway 16 and some of the intermediate projects. But it literally was backed up all the way almost to Star this morning. So my point is not to complain. It's not to say, don't do this or this is awful. That's not the point. I think we need to come up with some alternatives when we have concurrent restrictions like this. And these are significant. I've been here for 11 years and I've not seen it like this before. So again, not a complaint, not an issue, not a concern, just a suggestion that when we do these things concurrently, there needs to be, in my opinion, better coordination between the 3 entities as to when that scheduling is and if there's anything that can be adjusted when it affects just about everything southbound and eastbound.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And kind of just a couple of things to add, like the lieutenant mentioned earlier, Star's kind of an island. We've spent the last couple of days looking for an alternative. There's, even without any construction, there's not a great alternative around this area.
Yeah, I was just going to add on to that a little bit too. And I'm trying to envision what the mayor would say at this point. So having been here my entire life, we are in a very unique situation because we only have just a couple north-south access points. The mayor and the transportation departments, and I believe Nampa might be running point on it. They're trying to get another river crossing down the road as well, which will help significantly, right? But because we only have very limited north, south, and east, west access points, anything we do is very difficult. I will say that the mayor and staff have worked tirelessly to have good relationships with ACHD and ITD. So we do get involved in the planning process of the projects around town. Unfortunately, when you have all the construction and you have the federal funds available and everything else, it just gets very difficult. And some of the projects have to be done when the water's out of the canal. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It has to be done at that time. And so we've done a lot. We actually worked with the agencies and the contractors and moved some projects that impacted the flow of traffic for the school on Star Road. That's your backup. And because there's some other school road closures that are on to the south up here, that's causing some of those problems on Star Road. And so I think that we're looking for those alternatives. Unfortunately, in Star, our alternatives are very limited when it comes to north-south and east-west traffic. So Aaron, I think you had, I was going to have Aaron add to that.
I just wanted to add really quickly that we meet once a month, I think it is, for jurisdiction meetings on Highway 16. And it's us, ITD, we have City of Star on there. We have all these key players in there talking about all of our ACHD projects, ITD, what's happening. And it's something that I think has been very effective for all of us. But we have all the key players on a call monthly talking about all the different projects that are happening. But to their point, it's bottleneck because of growth and construction and utilities and all those other things that are happening.
I'm sorry to camp onto my remark I forgot to mention, and thank you both. And I understand the reasons. I do. It's the fact that they're concurrent, and the people left holding the bag are the people that are trying to get through town. So if there is a way, an opportunity, and I don't know. I mean, someone talked about the light on Park. Was that you? Maybe that it's long. You can't get through on Park, and you can't get through going straight. But do we have opportunities in lights when we have an encumbrance east-west to maybe get the north-south that aren't impacted so much, shorter durations to give up what would normally a normal duration to a shorter duration to allow more traffic to pass through? And that would be particularly true on Highway 16 the east-west, north-south, I mean, all of them are encumbered right now, but more east-west. So I don't know if there are opportunities like that to adjust lights and.
There
Yeah.
definitely are, yes.
Yeah.
We've had ACHD adjust them in the past, and we're right now looking at this corridor with ACHD just to try and get as much improvement as possible. There's still going to be delay and congestion, unfortunately, but I mean, a lot of us drive these roads every day too, and so we don't like sitting in traffic. So we're going to try to do what benefits the majority of people. So.
Yeah, okay. I have a question, and it's regarding the meetings that you say you have monthly. Is that open to the public? No. Okay.
No, they're not open to the public. We do have quarterly meetings though, so that are open to the public. They've been held in Nampa, and I don't know. Okay, that's right.
No, my concern was the communication between ACHD and ITD and all the other different affiliates. And I'd like to notate, and we were up talking about the Beacon Light project for a second there. And it was mentioned that the speeds are going to increase, or at least that's in the design phase. That was their intent, to increase the speed on 16 and Beacon Light to 50 west of 16. I would want to notate that there's a subdivision right there, and right now that's where we're at, and it's hell trying to get out of there in the morning during traffic time. And I get that because of like you were mentioning, this gentleman was mentioning, we're in right now, it's going to be a temporary issue because of the construction. But when that's completed, I want that to be somewhere on the topic so it can be looked at, because it's very, very difficult to get in and out of that. And if the speed is raised to 50 there, there's gonna be a lot of accidents.
Yeah, and I can't speak to what the speed limit might be on Beacon Light, but
Well, that's in the plan, 50.
no,
Well, it's on the computer. I mean, it's on the website.
My suggestion would to get on our website, ACHD's website. There's a connect feature in the right-hand corner. Put in your concerns, and one of our traffic analysts will respond back to you. No, Vince is with ITD, ACHD. Yeah. No, Vince is ITD.
As you can see, there's lots of D's and A's and I's and everything that float around, right? And so it's important to just keep in mind that if it's Chinden, Highway 44, Highway 16, or Highway 2026, it's ITD. Everything else is ACHD. So Beacon Light, he can't speak to the speed limits on Beacon Light, completely out of his jurisdiction. Yep. But ACHD, that's something that we can get on the table at ACHD. I can tell you that my personal opinion, that's crazy to go 50 right there, because we're going to eventually get into the turns in there, but I don't know what the plans are. And I'm pretty sure that we can work together with ACHD and the city and our sheriff's department to make sure that we get the right speed on that road. Absolutely. Yeah. Because our number one focus as a city and the sheriff's department, and I know the mayor would say the same thing, is safety. And we're not going to want to create a situation. And he's, with that relationship he's built with ACHD, he will certainly go to bat for that. 100%. Any other questions?
ITD. So lights and timing of lights would go through ITD on Chinden? No.
No. Ada County Highway District. So they have the day-to-day operations of the traffic signal. We build the highway ones, yep, and they manage them.
Any other questions? Okay. I know you're close enough to talk, right?
Yeah. So you do the impact study, right, for traffic on 44?
So typically impact studies like that are done by a development or the developer would do the impact study and then we would review it if it's on the state highway system.
I just didn't know if you knew the percentage of traffic that comes through Star doesn't live in Star. Like what percentage is going to Middleton?
Yeah, some
Beyond?
destination origin counts. I don't know offhand. I don't know if we have current numbers,
I
but
was told 70% is not all. That's State Street. So are they working on that on the Middleton side to find ways for those people to get out as opposed to coming?
so, well, we're working on, Highway 44 and what we're doing west of here is trying to wrap up a study on State Highway 44 between, Star Road and the interstate.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of the dig right they're heading to Middleton. They're coming.
Yeah, and there won't be really an alternate route for them to use. I mean, they're still going to use the highway, I would presume.
So just to speak to that real quick. So you remember, if you look at Eagle, right? Eagle has the bypass that goes through their downtown that pushes all the truck traffic through there. The same time that that bypass was done, Star and Middleton had the chance to join in on that. Well, unfortunately, back in the day, nobody in their right mind would have thought Star would have ever needed that. So at the time, the leadership said, well, we don't need to worry about that. Again, I've been here my whole life. Star was just a tiny dot that you just cruise through if you were going other places, right? And so now, unfortunately, all this growth has happened. COVID happened. We learned we could work remotely and live wherever we wanted. And so everybody decided to move to Idaho and to Star. And now we need a bypass and we don't have room for it. So that bypass isn't going to happen. The mayor is working with ITD and all the other cities and agencies. They are working on another bridge crossing at Kingsbury. That's the goal. That's the future, right? I think Nampa's going to take the lead on that. But again, you have a river crossing, so you've got impact studies, you've got environmental studies, you've got all these things that have to take place before you can even start to go into the design phase. And so it's going to take a little bit of time, but that is the goal. Mayor also talks about it quite a bit up at Erie Way, up where the new development's going off of 16, trying to get another extension that will go west to the interstate, which will also help with truck traffic and additional traffic as well. And so there's things in the works. Unfortunately, in Idaho, it's not if you build it, they will come like you see in other places. In Idaho, it's once you all come and get here, then we'll build it. We don't have the funding to just willy-nilly build roads and hope that they get used. And so that is just the way it's currently funded and set up through the legislature and the Constitution of Idaho. And I guess at some point, if the people we elect in Boise to change that, but right now, as our needs come, then we end up building it. And as we all know, that's not soon enough for us because we're not very patient. So good questions, though. Great questions. Any others? I'm just going to broach a topic then that just happened right before we came into this meeting then, and maybe it will present another question or two. But one of the patrol sergeants was in the office. We were dealing with a few things. He mentioned the other day as traffic was backed up on Highway 16, he also was in the traffic. And somebody proceeded to give him the business about the traffic being bad. So I just want to put it on the record and out there on video for everybody to see. Our cops are in the traffic too. He can't do anything about it. He was just as frustrated as everybody else that the traffic was backed up. But our police and fire, one of the things that they do, and I want to make sure that we bring this up, they work with the agencies to try to have the best plan in place to be able to get to an emergency in the quickest period of time, given all the construction. So they are very heavily involved in all of this. So that we can figure out if there's an emergency at your home or your neighbors or anywhere else that they can get there and not have their response times impacted. They have the ability to, run lights and sirens, and those fire trucks are big enough they can push people out of the way if they needed to. But they work very closely with the agencies to make sure that happens. And Chief, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything about that.
No, not only when I'm on duty, but I also live off of Beacon Lights. So when we're talking about Beacon Lights 16, I know it very well, taking my daughter to high school. So I see the problems. I see the issues. It's coming up with solutions. I appreciate ITD, ACHD, for even coming here and talking about it and being open to it. I think it's very important, just as we talked about these identities, to talking to one another and trying to figure out solutions. But I do appreciate the conversation, and I don't know if we'll come up with a solution today, but at least we're trying to. So, yep.
So I have a question about Valnova. Does Star have EMS services? Are they responsible for any in that subdivision?
I'll do my best on, maybe Ryan can correct me if I'm wrong. I know Chief Tominski talks about it. So it's the fire district, so Star Fire District and Eagle Fire District kind of jump across the lines on Highway 16. So I believe it's actually Eagle that's Valnova. Is that right? Yep, Eagle City is Valnova, but Eagle Fire District's Valnova that provide the.
So Star Fire District does take in some of the Valnova development, quite a bit of it actually. So the district stretches that out. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like post office, right? Zip codes, they are set and fire districts are set, and as cities move and grow, those don't change. So the same thing. So, and it is, there is part of it in Ada County. So it's in, I think you hear Chief say a lot of times unincorporated Ada County. I don't know if that is because it's Eagle City, but Eagle City would respond as primary for the sheriff's department, correct?
Correct, yes.
And then Star Fire District would respond primary for the fire department up there for a portion of the subdivision. And that's all built into the 911 system so that when it comes up, that address, it knows exactly who the primary is on that.
I will tell you the way our dispatch system works though for police is they have a GPS on every one of the police cars that are out there. So it doesn't matter if it's a Star guy, an Eagle guy, or an Ada County guy. When that 911 call hits, it goes to whoever the closest unit is. And so you'll see when I give the monthly report, you'll see that I talk about we as a city have a goal, the city of Star, there's response time under 4 minutes. Well, I give two different times usually. One is in City of Star and one is outside the City of Star. So sometimes on Highway 16 when we have a traffic accident or wherever it might be Eagle jurisdiction, but one of our Star guys is the closest, and so they're going to get there the fastest. And so will see Star police up in Valnova, you'll see Eagle police. It's City of Eagle's jurisdiction, but we'll get there to make sure that everybody's safe, and then we'll figure out who writes the report and who does investigation.
Another one of the great benefits of our contracting that we have, because they're Ada County, they can go wherever they need to in Ada County. And I think that's a huge benefit to us and to our neighbors as well. Any other questions?
I just want to say a few more remarks. I appreciate all of you who live here in Star and come out, and also the city of Star itself and Mayor Chadwick, great partners. And it's as you can see, just here in town, the city, making highway improvements with widening the highway a year or two ago, and so Star's been incredible to work with, and we've gotten a lot accomplished, and more is coming. So thanks to everybody here.
Yeah, you bet. Now, we do have a question that came in online, and I think you've heard it often. We get the question a lot here at town too. Why can't we just do the work at night when there's no traffic?
So we do quite a bit of work at night. It's just very specific depending on the type of work. Working at night is inherently more dangerous. So we prefer daytime work, but typical work where we have to do like a full closure, we'll try and do overnight. That's way it's least impactful to traffic. And then, daytime work is safer. You can get more people to work during the daytime, and get more things accomplished sooner. So.
Great. Any other questions online, Ms. Dana? Okay. Any other comments from the dais up there? Feel like Lieutenant Haynes, you're getting off easy this time, so we'll catch you next time.
And if
Matt,
we do this
anything
again,
else?
we're happy to come back, but I think we want to give Aaron a seat at the table too.
Yeah, we'll put your name up there. We'll even get you a soda instead of a water if you want a soda. So
If,
just to encourage you to come.
and I got a couple more
Oh,
things.
that'd be great, Matt.
We've got a public house, online open house right now. Kate has cards that's for State Highway 16 to the north here. So you can check out the online public meeting there and leave your comments. And then I encourage you, if you have questions at any time, visit our website. You can call me directly at 334-8300. I guess not directly, but you can ask for me. Any of us are more than happy to chat anytime. So please feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming out, and we appreciate the partnership and all the communication and the information. And to be honest, if you go look at that report I was mentioning earlier on the website, I don't have the numbers on the top, but there's several $100 million being spent in the Star area on road infrastructure improvements recently, and we're very grateful for that. But those numbers are all on that report that the mayor's been publishing the first of every month here. But if there's, so go ahead, Matt.
Sorry. And make sure to sign up for project updates on this project here. So there's, you can email sh16@itd.idaho.gov. And for those of you in the room, we have some materials we can give you on how to sign up.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if there's, one more round. Anybody have any questions? Oh, Dana does.
I just wanted to add that we also put updates. I sit on those monthly calls, and so I try to get information out on the city newsletter as well. I know on our call this morning, we talked about lanes will be shifting again in another couple months. So you want to make sure that you're staying ahead of that so that there aren't any surprises when you're headed down the highway going, wait, Jersey barrier was here. Now it's over here. So we want everybody to stay alert and stay safe.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, so City of Star has a transportation advisory committee, and they have meetings. You can see that I'm sure it's on the Star website. Those are public, so you can come and listen to what, from the point of view of the Star City, what their thoughts are about transportation.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and adjourn today's meeting. I want to thank Matt and Chief Hesseed and Lieutenant Hayes again for being here, and for everybody attending. Thank you for your questions, and we'll see you next month.